When you think of power scaling, chances are you probably aren't going to be thinking of the BFDI universe, but there are some people who do. BFDI, as a verse, has very weird scaling, as by the way that people do it, you can end up anywhere from human level to outerversal. So today I'm going to be giving a scale on where this verse actually ends up. So to start off, I'm going to be talking about the argument used for the highest scale, in which being outerversal. The main reason why some people believe in the scale is due to in tpot 4, Teardrop enters the real world and they perceive this as reality over fiction transcendence, making it outerversal. One minor flaw in this, and by minor I mean major, is that it heavily requires the perception that Teardrop transcending BFDI as a verse means that BFDI has infinite dimensions. BFDI does not have anywhere near infinite dimensions and is most commonly perceived as either a two-dimensional or three-dimensional verse. And perceiving that this would be reality over fiction transcendence also ignores the fact that other characters have been able to go to the real world on separate occasions, including Woody, Lai, Penn, and some more. Now, the main reason why ignoring this is a main issue is that if it's a consistent feat, it's just something they can do in the verse. We can assume that BFDI is a three-dimensional verse, and since all of these characters can do this, Teardrop would not get reality over fiction transcendence from this, because then you have to give it to other characters in which they just go to what's quote-unquote the real world, but still fictional to us. Henceforth, it is not reality. Now, since reality isn't what actually is reality in the world of BFDI, we cannot give the verse reality over fiction transcendence because, yeah, obviously. But I feel like the next scale we should be talking about is the one that the Versus Battles wiki itself takes, putting them all at low multiversal. Yeah, that one's gonna be a doozy. The Versus Battles wiki has Battlefordreamisland as a verse at 2C, being multiversal. They mainly have this due to the fact that in BFB 30, announcers' budget cuts seem to downgrade the entire universe up until it is put as a storyboard. This does not make sense to put in 2C, simply put because, well, it's a universal feed, not multiversal. BFDI has established that it has two total timelines, but is still in the same universe. There is no other universe. Anything that could be described as out of this realm is stated as a universal threat. And basically, what this is implying is that there's nothing beyond the BFDI universe. It's just a universe. But by far, the worst scale that BFDI is commonly put through is 11C zero-dimensional. There is nothing that proves this scale other than the fact that people just don't like BFDI as a series, and thus they put it here just so they could put their favorite verses above this already strong verse. But now let's just get to where the verse actually scales. Now, the process that makes BFDI as a verse stronger can be labeled down to 4 different feats. First one, announcer deleting a black hole. This is solar system level. We've already instated that. Second off, Teardrop transcending the verse. This is not infinite dimensions. This is not reality over fiction. This is transcending a dimension, making her fourth dimensional. And fourth dimensional is a universal level feat. Next off, we have announcers' budget cuts almost causing the end of the universe in BFB 30. Again, a universal level feat, reinstating the verse to this level. And lastly, the strongest feat we've seen is from one in tpot 15, fixing the timelines with a single snap. This means that one is easily universal, and depending on if we want to count both timelines as two separate universes, along with the Tuesday technically being two universes, we can argue this as low multiversal. Now, one is able to easily do this with her power, but in tpot 19, she gains the power from 4 and 2, two beings who are much stronger than her, and at her full power, it could be argued that she is multiversal. But this is only the strongest character in the verse. Every other character would have to be chain scaled to 2 without using his powers, which would not scale anywhere. Every character has their own unique scaling, but BFDI caps at multiversal. Now that we have established where BFDI as a verse scales, who's right? Well, no one. Everyone either puts BFDI 10 times stronger than it is, or a million times weaker than it is. The Versus Wiki is closest, but it has all the characters at multiversal instead of just the strongest. Or in this case, 1, who's the only character who would realistically reach multiversal, given the fact that they have powers of themselves 2 and 4. Now, before you click off of this video, I would like to ask a few things. First off, you don't need to like or subscribe. I'm just asking that you can comment down characters for Editor vs. Viewers 2, a tournament series that you guys voted for. Alongside, I want you guys to comment down requests that I can do in the meantime, and also maybe give tips for all-light motion editing if you know any. Thanks for watching.